Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. Today, after the old day job, I am off to check out the new thriller, Relay. Relay is directed by David Mackenzie, and it's starring Riz Ahmed, Lily James, and Sam Worthington. It tells the story of a man who helps out corporate whistleblowers, but not in the way you think. You'd think that he's helping them expose corporations that are doing bad things, but quite the opposite. He's helping these people just give back whatever they have and just live normal lives. They're sick of being harassed by these corporations, blah, 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 and this man helps them get out of it. And he uses a really cool device. Now, if any of you know people that are in the deaf community, then you know how they use phones. They use a relay device. They use this, I bet you just basically call it like a keyboard, and they use this keyboard to call a center, like a message center, and then somebody reads the message to the person on the other end of the phone. And due to the Disabilities Act, all of this is completely anonymous. You cannot get this information. There is absolutely no way to subpoena this stuff, nothing. Because of the Disability Act, everything is kept 100% private. So it's a really cool way for this guy to communicate with his clients. I thought that was kind of a neat little thing with this movie. This film is also brought to us from the independent film studio Bleecker Street, which I am a big fan of. I like Bleecker Street because they always seem to try to push the bill on what you would expect from an independent film studio. So you know what, guys? It's enough of me sitting here jabbering on. It is time for me to get out the door, which unfortunately looks like it's raining outside. One of the worst things about taking public transportation is sometimes you gotta deal with the weather, and it looks like it's not necessarily pouring rain, but it definitely looks like there's some sprinkles that are going on out there. So it looks like I'm gonna get a little waterlogged on my way into the old day job. So it's enough of me sitting here jabbering on. It is time for me to get out the door because I need to go check out Relay. Welcome back. Just getting home from Relay, and guys, I really enjoyed this movie. This was an interesting little thriller. So let's get this started, shall we? Now, normally I do negatives and positives, but this time around I don't really have anything negative to say, but I do have some mixed feelings, and then we're gonna move into the positives. So let's get this started, shall we? We're gonna get things started with the mixed, and then move into the positives to end the video on the ever so important high note. The first thing I would like to talk about is just the overall pacing of this film. Now, the very beginning of this movie, you start out and you are in it to win it. It kind of explains how everything works a little bit at the very beginning of this film. And then as it progressed, that intense suspense and all still really stays there. There's a lot going on. But then once you hit about the second act of the film, when he takes on his new client and he starts to try to put together the plan and everything, there's some really fun cat and mouse moments in that. But unfortunately, the second act of this film does kind of move a little slow. Now, I'm not saying that it's boring by any means, but things do definitely slow down. Now, during this time, we get to know our main characters a little better. We get to see some more deeper characterization and things of that sort. So it is worth your while, but if you're looking for a real action-packed kind of action-adventure style movie, this is not that film. This movie doesn't have big blowout fight sequences or any kind of shootouts, anything like that. Now, there is a little bit of action and all, but this film really focuses mostly on suspense and intrigue. So if that's something that's just not your cup of tea, then you're probably not going to find a lot in this film. So let's move into those positives, shall we? The first thing I want to talk about is our cast. Riz Ahmed is our lead in this film, does an excellent job, and I really liked his character. He does take a little bit to grow on you, but once you start getting into the film, you really start to like his character. Also, the chemistry that he has with Lily James is really good. The only thing that's weird is that they don't actually meet each other, and so they're just constantly talking back and forth on the phone. But even in those moments, you can definitely tell that a friendship and all is developing. Yes, a friendship. This is not a romance story, thank goodness. This is just two people, and he starts to feel like connected to her in certain ways. And so I did really appreciate that. The acting was really spot on. The suspense in this film is really where it shines. The tension and suspense do excellent. The story itself is also really, really good. This film does keep you intrigued and interested on what is going on at all times. Even with those slow moments that come through, the movie still delivers with a lot of really good story, and it does have a really nice little twist-a-rooney that they throw in there too. Sam Worthington also does a great job in this film. I really enjoyed his character. He plays one of the, I guess you could call them the security team that's hired by the corporation that they're going up against and all of that. So I guess you could say he's one of the bad guys, or just a corporate, bootlicker, however you want to look at it. But his character was pretty good. Even though we really don't get to know the guy that well, he does do a pretty good job of being one of those, no-name, disappear kind of dudes that work for some shady organization. All in all, I really felt that this film had a lot to offer for it, and I really enjoy that about Bleecker Street. I think Bleecker Street does a really great job of delivering these mid-budget independent films that maybe don't have a lot of frills and thrills, but what they do deliver in is the acting and the story, and that's exactly what we have here. Now, I do believe that some people are going to find this film a lot more interesting on a streaming service than necessarily in theaters, because, again, like I said, this doesn't have a lot of action attached to it, but it does really keep your butt in the seat with all of the intrigue and all that's going on. But in my personal opinion, in all honesty, I would have to say that most people, if they see this movie, they're probably going to watch it on a streaming service rather than going into theaters, because I just don't feel like this film, first off, I don't even really know how many people know about this movie, to be perfectly honest. It doesn't seem like it's really been advertised a whole lot, so I don't know if there's a lot of word of mouth that's going on about this movie or not, but it is a really good film. So if you're someone that really enjoys a really good suspenseful thriller with some great, I guess you would call it corporate espionage, whistleblower stuff, all that good kind of intrigue and all, then this is definitely something for you. If you're somebody that really likes the action, loves those explosions and lots of CGI and things of that sort, well, this movie really doesn't have a lot of that. Now, there is some action, but most of the action of this film does happen in the third act. And so just kind of wait. If you're that impatient, don't worry, it's gonna get there. You're gonna get some of that action coming your way. But in all honesty, guys, this is just one of those really good mid-budget little thrillers that every now and then come out and do really well. Now, the problem I have with this film too is that I honestly feel like this is just something that I would really enjoy on a one viewing. Not that it was terrible or anything. I just don't feel like this is a movie that I would really go back and revisit at any time, but I did enjoy it. I had a really good time, and I could be wrong. Maybe one of these days it'll pop up on a streaming service and I'll see it there and go, oh, Relay, that's really cool. Oh, one last thing I wanted to say is I really thought the use of that relay machine was cool. It's something that we never hear about, no one ever talks about, and I thought it was neat to actually see that used in something other than, for somebody who actually needs it. So I thought that was a neat little addition into this film to set it aside from some other films that are similar to it. So all in all, guys, I would have to say that this is stream it out of curiosity, but in all honesty, if this is something that you enjoy and you do want to support some independent theater, some independent film coming out this weekend, go out and check this movie out. If you like a good little thriller that's going to keep you on the edge of your seat for most of the film, some slowdowns, but for most of it, you're going to keep yourself really tied into what's going on, then this is definitely the film for you. If you need a lot more action attached to your film and all, maybe check this movie out on streaming. Let's just put it that way. because I do feel like this movie deserves at least one viewing from folks. Okay guys, thanks again for checking out the Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you could do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.